get you one day?
Yeah. I knew they were going to get what's coming to them eventually.
That day of reckoning began years earlier when the police captain, Charles Kennedy, showed up here and soon realized something was not right.
I noticed this, that when the boys were sitting there, nobody was talking, nobody was smiling. They were just too quiet.
Nobody talked.
Why not?
They were scared.
So he went around asking
everybody for information, and they all said, sorry, I can't help you.
But when he returned, some of the children slipped handwritten notes to Captain Kennedy, pleading for help. I've seen people get slammed, choked, and hit. Before it's too late, no one should be treated like this.
Because they were taking a terrific risk because things could get brutal in there. These are the isolation booths.
And then Captain Kennedy says he saw on a surveillance monitor in Knott's office a young boy named Austin who was locked in one of the isolation rooms naked because he had apparently threatened to kill himself.
I pulled Austin's chair over. I put my hands on his knees. Austin, look at me. What's going on here? He said yesterday, they took me into Knott's office in there. Knott pulled out a .380 automatic pistol and told me that since I wanted to commit suicide, told me to put the gun to my head and pull the trigger. Mr. Ross, you could have knocked me out of that chair with a feather.
Kennedy says Knott admitted to it, but said there were no bullets in the gun.
I literally almost went cold. I could not believe what I was hearing. I knew then that I had crazy people that I was dealing with.
So Kennedy, on his own, working from home, began to investigate, pulling up the past court records on Knott.
Hey, Mrs. Henderson, how you doing? Charles Kennedy.
And urging parents and grandparents of some of the other teens who had been sent there to take action.
That place just ruined his life. I mean, you know.
They've done that. Unfortunately, he's not the only one whose life has been ruined by these people.
But then Kennedy told 2020 he ran into a wall of indifference from local officials who were friendly with the pastors.
I had been told that if I continued to investigate this thing, that I'd be fired for insubordination.
And he says the indifference was present all the way to the State House in Montgomery.
Nobody's interested in lifting a finger to save these children from this abuse. None. Zero.
Including, he says, the Alabama Attorney General, Luther Strange, who has now been appointed to the U.S. Senate. The Attorney General's investigator, Kennedy says, reported to him that Attorney General Strange was not going to take any action.
Mr. Strange's opinion was, quote, these children out of state and their parents don't vote here, and I don't want the church is mad at me, and so we're not going to take on this issue.
I don't know how he possibly could have gotten that word. It certainly didn't come from me.
Outside his Capitol Hill office, Senator Strange told 2020 he sent 2 top investigators, but they found no wrongdoing.
How could your investigators not find anything?
You know, that's a good question, but I have total confidence in their...
Was it a full investigation or just a cursory effort?
They spent a significant amount of time there, it's my understanding.
In fact, it was only several hours at the camp, according to the lead investigator, who told us he never interviewed any of the boys. With no one able or willing to act, the camp continued to operate for more than 3 years. Its teen captives locked up and beaten, they say, on a regular basis.
My mind kind of just shut off. It was just like, okay, well, I'm done.
But then, with Captain Kennedy still on their case, the Academy left the town of Pritchard and moved in with a local church under a new name inside the actual city limits of Mobile. And it only took one parent to complain to the Mobile Police Department before officers moved in. Now, it was William Knott and 2 other pastors who were in handcuffs, charged with child abuse. And the teens inside, including Lucas, were free, finally.
I live here, and this is a humiliation and embarrassment to think that we have tolerated this.
When we come back, the TV superhero Jeremy Jordan and his lesbian cousin Sarah, what it took to gain her freedom.
Okay, so this is a bit of a rush job.
Actor Jeremy Jordan was busy filming his role as Supergirl's sidekick in the popular CBS series.
Are you crying?
No.
When he got some news that would affect him. the news about his 17-year-old lesbian cousin Sarah, who had been sent away by her parents.
They were taking drastic measures and putting her away for being gay, and she was terrified.
It's a cry for help.
Yeah, of course.
Sarah Gebert was being held incommunicado at the Heartlight Christian boarding school outside Hallsville, Texas, a well-kept, sprawling, ranch-like facility. Her parents deny they sent her here because she had a girlfriend, but Heartlight says it is a place of refuge for teens, including lesbians.
Well, we kind of specialize in that now.
This is how its owner, Mark Gregston, describes the work on his website.
I meet with girls across the country that are struggling in same-sex relationships, and I think I've just gained an understanding about how to approach them.
And Sarah's friends feared that she was about to be put through an ordeal designed to stop her from embracing her sexuality.
She had no contact with the outside world. They took away her phone, and she's just basically in this sort of surprise prison, almost.
Prison?
Yeah.
Jordan's cousin Sarah is one of the unknown number of American gay teens who have been sent away to religious programs.
As a Christian, I believe that the Bible teaches that to choose to engage in homosexual conduct is a sin.
Pastor Peter Sprigg of the powerful conservative group, the Family Research Council, says there's no place for brutality, but insists that what he calls sexual reorientation therapy with spirituality can work, disputing leading medical groups and the U.S. Surgeon General, which say that such therapy is not effective and may cause harm.
No, I don't agree with that.
You think it is sound?
I think it is sound.
And that it does not harm the people who are put through this therapy?
That's correct. With teenage boys and girls, it's probably the most likely to be effective because their sexuality is still developing, and therefore they're less set in their ways.
6 months earlier, Sarah had been taken by her parents to another Christian facility, this one in Indiana, for a 3-day session with her parents and a Christian counselor.
She kind of just said either you change or you don't get to go to heaven, kind of made it like an ultimatum.
Now Sarah was stuck at the facility in Texas. Heartlight says it does not practice gay conversion, but does warn the parents of lesbians on its website that doing nothing only allows her to sink deeper into a lifestyle that God warns against. While Sarah says she saw no physical abuse here, she was still desperate to escape. Within days, running out to the road to flag down a passing motorist.
Well, I got in the car of this lady, and she, I guess, put 2 and 2 together and figured out that I had run from the boarding school program, and so she just took me back.
But help was on the way, thanks to her celebrity cousin, Jeremy Jordan, who told 2020 he rallied other members of the family to support Sarah.
I was excited. I was like, yes, we get to have a gay person in the family. My mom always thought it was going to be me, so I was like, sorry.
There's change coming.
And as a small-town Texas boy who is making it big in show business, this was Jordan in the Broadway play Newsies.
And man, you is major news.
He set out to use his celebrity to launch an internet campaign to raise money for lawyers to get Sarah out.
And I was like, we have to say something out loud about this. We started a GoFundMe page, and it basically told Sarah's story, which is the story of so many young gay teens, especially in the South, and put it out there.
Tonight, family members of a gay teen want her out of a Christian boarding facility.
And within like a couple days, it was being picked up by all, big news sites all around the country and around the world.
Jeremy Jordan's plea to save his cousin from an anti-gay facility.
Kids would be like, I'm gonna ask my mom how much money I can borrow. I'll put my allowance in for this.
To help Sarah?
Yeah, to help her.
But there were also those angry about what Jordan was doing to help his gay cousin, against her parents' wishes.
I can't believe that you're going against this girl's parents.
In a statement to 2020, Sarah's parents said the programs they sent their daughter to were loving and could help. Quote, although we do not agree with some of our daughter's decisions, we love her unconditionally and continue to pursue a close relationship with her.
It's very insulting to some parents to suggest that if the parent does not think that same-sex attractions are normal and natural and tries to discourage their child from pursuing homosexual relationships, that's somehow unloving.
Is there any evidence at all anywhere that works?
No. The evidence is it angers the child, it drives them to despair. It doesn't make them not gay. That's the one thing it doesn't do, is make them not gay.
Dude, that's not family. Family is not about scorekeeping or who did more. It's just about showing up.
Like his character on Supergirl, Jeremy Jordan put family first when his cousin Sarah was shipped off.
You brought the heat.
Basically, people were writing to them and threatening to protest outside of their walls, and people were really taking action.
And it worked. In the wake of all the public attention, the Heartlight Christian School sent Sarah home.
I think eventually they just had me leave because people were threatening to come protest and, force their way in to get me out.
Sarah now lives with relatives in Austin, near her girlfriend Haley, finishing high school, hoping that her parents and friends and neighbors in her small Texas town will one day understand.
At the root of it was all her sexual identity and not being able to truly be who she was.
But for other gay teens who don't have a famous cousin, teens like Lucas Greenfield, they have been on their own. Next, we go undercover to learn what teens like Lucas went through at a place called the Blessed Hope Boys Academy, a place where counselors first used the Bible and then the belt. When we return. With the brutal pastor William Knott now in handcuffs, his so-called Christian academy shut down, Lucas Greenfield was sent back to his mother in Naples, Florida, more firm than ever that he was definitely gay, to the outrage of his mother.
And she said, look, as Christian parents, as people of God, we cannot have you being who you are, your lifestyle of homosexuality. We cannot have that inside of our Christian house.
And within days, Lucas was being driven back to Alabama by his mother, turned over to another Christian academy in that state's secretive network of places available to parents of gay teens. The Blessed Hope Boys Academy in Robertsdale, Alabama.
They can help you. They can change your sinful ways through prayer and the Bible.
And when you pulled in there, what did you think?
Well, what the hell? What is this? And I got out of the car, they were like, oh, you're the gay kid, right? And I'm like, great. Yeah, I'm the gay kid. They're like, well, we're gonna change that. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Leading advocates of therapy to help teens reject a gay lifestyle insist there are no such places like this one.
I think this idea of sort of reorientation camps is part of the mythology that has been built up around this, and they really don't exist.
They don't exist.
If you know of any, if you found tangible evidence of any, I would like to see it. Where's Brother Gary?
So watch this video.
Brother Gary.
Recorded by a 2020 undercover team at the Blessed Hope Boys Academy.